Canelo Alvarez shocked the boxing world by recruiting Teofimo Lopez as his sparring partner, and this was not just about sharpening skills, it was a statement. Together they had declared war on Terrence "Bud" Crawford, two champions, one target, and a vow to take him down. Even Teofimo Lopez's team got involved in the drama, engaging in a back and forth with Terrence Crawford. Members of Lopez's camp reportedly hurled insults and disses at Crawford, escalating tensions further. The verbal shots add another layer to the growing friction surrounding Lopez, as the controversy now stretches beyond him personally and into his entire circle. Teofimo Lopez clarified his stance on the Canelo versus Crawford fight, stating he's picking Canelo to win due to the significant size difference. According to Lopez, the physical gap between the two fighters is simply too massive for Crawford to overcome.
Crawford Canelo, I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yep.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should try and test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog, he's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
Hey, let's see. Only one way to find out till that day comes.
It's the only way, but I definitely think that it's a great fight overall. You know, black and brown is how you get down.
That's right.
Soon after, videos of Teofimo Lopez and Canelo Alvarez began circulating online, offering a glimpse into their brief time training together before Lopez was removed from camp. The footage sparked renewed interest and debate among fans, especially in light of the controversy surrounding Lopez's exit. However, Teofimo Lopez's stint in Canelo Alvarez's training camp was short-lived. During a recent social media livestream, Lopez revealed that he was removed at the request of Canelo and his team. He insisted there were no hard feelings, emphasizing that it was ultimately the champ's decision. Still, Lopez subtly distanced himself from Canelo's style, noting he didn't want to become heavy, flat-footed, or planted.
It could be a lot of things. Maybe just the time frame, but maybe it could be the promoting. I don't know. They didn't really elaborate. Anyone else didn't really speak to my father. He just went through our team and to elaborate that part. And I don't know if we did something wrong, or whatever the case be, or they just focus on their stuff and they have that Saudi trip that they're gonna take in a couple weeks, and they felt like with a fighter like myself that's elite, maybe they need more time. But it doesn't make sense, whatever the case be. We love them, we appreciate them.
Yo, Jacob, the Canelo team don't want Teofimo. Not our fault, bro. It's whatever the champ wants. It's all right, bro. I don't want to be heavy, flat-footed, planted anyways. I'm a boxer. Pretty damn good boxer, too. I don't need nobody, and they don't need me. That's mean, guys. Isn't that mean? Shouldn't be like that, bro. I'm a good guy. Don't play me as don't play me as anything else than what it is. I'm the best fighter, and I won't coattail nobody. I'm not gonna bandwagon nobody because we did it. We enhanced our game, and I think that takes a lot from champions. We don't need to. I told my father, why are we doing this? My father said.
Adding to the tension, Lopez didn't hold back during his live stream, calling out what he perceives as a double standard in boxing commentary. He questioned why critics weren't attacking Canelo Alvarez for struggling to cut off the ring against William Skull, while he himself was heavily criticized for his performance against Arnold Barboza.
I want to ask you guys something. A lot of people chewed my ass about not knowing how to cut the ring off, right? Right. Pero Canelo, he fought William Skull, and he could not cut the ring off. But nobody butchered him about it. So, like, for instance, I'm not Canelo.
Interestingly, despite initially appearing aligned with Canelo, Lopez has since thrown his support behind Terrence "Bud" Crawford in the upcoming super fight. But this isn't just admiration, it's ambition. Lopez revealed that he backs Crawford because he hopes to face him next. For Lopez, a win over Bud would not just be personal, it would symbolically surpass Canelo, marking a layered pursuit of legacy.
Bud versus Canelo, who you pick? I'm gonna go for Crawford, because then when he beats, let's say he beats Canelo, that gives ammunition. So when I fight him, and I beat Canelo.
Behind the scenes, Lopez's removal from camp may have stemmed from more serious issues than team preference. Reports have surfaced suggesting he was dismissed due to the use of racial slurs during his time in camp. Although Lopez publicly downplayed the situation, framing it as the champ's choice, these allegations cast the split in a new, more troubling light.
I seen his legs last. I seen his legs last fight. Them shits are done, gone.
Responding to the backlash, Lopez has come forward to defend himself against the accusations. He denied using racial slurs, claiming the situation was a misunderstanding. He controversially added that because boxing is a black-dominant sport and he is not black, he's not being given any slack, a statement that has only fueled further criticism.
Why use racism? I did it, man. Where that liquor at is what I say. Yeah, I could slow down the video, change my voice, but I know what I said. You know what I mean? I'm done using the racism. I'm done with that. Y'all don't know the backstory about what Crawford said to my father? It's like y'all just focus on, on his part and that's it, because y'all deride him. But like, he said my father was a drunk. And my father, at least that, it's okay though. I understand that this is a black entertainment industry, and I'm not black, so it comes with it. You guys get more of the things that you need than anybody else. Don't get me wrong, y'all suffered a lot too, so it's okay. It comes with it. I'm suffering too. But I ain't racist. I ain't using that hard R or whatever. Crazy.
Reacting to the controversy, multi-division world champion Claressa Shields weighed in with a firm but thoughtful response. She expressed hope that Lopez would reflect and take the matter up with God, as he claims to be a God-fearing man, emphasizing that such language has no place in boxing or anywhere else. Shields underscored that, regardless of context or intent, certain words should never be used.
I don't know, but whichever one, hopefully, you take that up with God and he be a good person, but nobody saying those type of words if they not from where we're from.
Definitely.
While offering an open line of dialogue, Stephen Fulton spoke out on the controversy surrounding Teofimo Lopez, expressing a desire to have a genuine, respectful conversation with him. Fulton said he wants to understand where Lopez's head is at and why he continues to be involved in questionable behavior. However, Fulton did not hold back on the core issue, asserting that Lopez did not say liquor as claimed, but instead used the racial slur in question.
No, you know what's crazy though? I really want to ask Teo a couple questions, bro. Like, I don't know, ignorant stuff or no negative stuff. I really want to have a conversation with him. Like I want him to call my phone, or I'll get his number, call his phone, just to ask him these questions. Just to really rap with him, see where his head at. Like, bro, why you be doing that, bro? You ain't gotta do that, bro. Don't, you know what I'm saying? That's all. I just really want to ask him a couple questions, a respectful, genuine conversation. I really want to ask him these questions. It's crazy. I just seen him at Aiden Raw's stream, Aiden Raw's fight, and we shook hands. Him, Dandy rap and everything. So I'm sitting there cool. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was cool after that, bro. But then when he come on, bro. He put the hard ER on it though. He didn't say nigga. He said. I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, Teo, damn, cousin. I know. I'm not saying Tio racist. I'm just saying I want to know why do he go about things that way? The conversation is always needed to see, but when they first had that conversation, it just was like it wasn't really much.
But you gotta read.
Like,
you gotta read
it. When you have a genuine conversation with somebody, like, yo, listen, bro, you don't gotta do that in order to get fights or have your name popping, bro. Like, it's black people out here that don't see that. That's with you.
In response to Stephen Fulton's call for a genuine conversation with Teofimo Lopez, trainer Greg Hackett offered a far more skeptical take. Hackett claimed Lopez would only catfish the moment, saying the right things to get out of trouble, especially with his back against the wall, before inevitably returning to the same behavior.
What would make you think he'd get on the phone with you and be real?
That's a good question.
Because you know, we already seen him do it with Bud. He gonna cat for the moment. He gonna do whatever he gotta do to get out of the situation, to get his back from against the wall, and then, you know, he gonna go right back to the...
Boxing Ego weighed in on Teofimo Lopez's take regarding his removal from Canelo Alvarez's camp, pointing out the underlying tone of resentment. He noted that Teo made it seem like staying in the camp would have made him flat-footed, an apparent jab at Canelo's style. Ego suggested Lopez came off as salty about the split, subtly throwing shade at Canelo and his team in the aftermath of their short-lived training stint.
He's basically saying Canelo's team don't want him. Canelo's team kicked him out. Then he starts taking digs at Canelo. You heard it, right? Making it sound like if he goes over to them and stays in the camp, you know, he'll be flat-footed like Canelo. And he kind of foreshadows a bit, because as you heard at the end of that clip that I played at the beginning of my video, at the end, Teofimo makes mention, he said, a lot of y'all chewed me out saying I couldn't cut off the ring with Barbosa, but then look at your man's Canelo. Canelo fought William Scope, and he's basically said he couldn't do nothing with him. He didn't cut off the ring. So Teo definitely sounds a bit salty about this breakup. Makeup to break up.
Furthermore, Boxing Ego further cautioned Teofimo Lopez against burning bridges with Team Canelo, urging him not to say anything he might regret down the line. He emphasized that maintaining professional relationships is key in the sport. Ego also remarked that Lopez has long been boxing's problem child, pointing to his history of controversial statements and actions that continue to stir backlash within the boxing world.
So, for me, I believe in don't burn your bridges. I've always been taught like that. Like, don't burn your bridges, don't say anything you're gonna regret. You know, this new generation, they play by a different set of rules. They are very, very, almost emotional, you know, to the point where they'll say these things in the here and now and then have to retract it, or they get canceled. You gotta understand that Teofimo has been a problem. You know, he's been a problem child. He said a lot of controversial things. Eddie Reynoso is a grown man. He also has a mega fighter in Canelo Alvarez, so it's not like he's starving for cash. He has the biggest star, you know, him and Gervonta Davis in Canelo are the biggest stars in boxing. So you really can probably afford to be choosy, and Teofimo just represents a headache.
Meanwhile, Oscar De La Hoya weighed in on the looming mega fight, stating that it's tough to pick a clear favorite with both fighters now well into their 30s. He noted that Canelo looked like he was walking on quicksand against William Skull, while casting doubt on Crawford's power despite his movement and ring IQ, labeling him very one-dimensional.
The facts are that they're over 35 years old both, and I remember I fought Chavez when he was 32 and he was 99-1, and people thought he was over the hill. So,
have you changed your pick for that fight, Oscar, based on how Canelo looked against Skull?
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because Canelo, you know, obviously he walks on quicksand. We saw it against Skull once again. Crawford is very, you know, he's not one-dimensional. He can move, he can box, he can, you know, I don't know how hard he hits to keep Canelo away from him, but you know, I think it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight.
I'll even do it for you.
A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab. That's it.
Oh, I like it. I actually like the fight. I like the fight. I'm just saying, like, you know, reality is both guys are 38 years old. I mean, or 35, 38. But I like the fight.
In contrast, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. gave the edge to Canelo Alvarez, expressing doubts about Terence Crawford's recent form and growing age. Chavez Jr. noted that Crawford's most recent performance lacked impact and raised concerns about whether the aging champion still has enough left in the tank to handle a challenge of this magnitude. He emphasized that while Crawford remains a skilled technician, time may no longer be on his side against a physically imposing fighter like Canelo.
I think Canelo is the favorite of this fight. It's still a big than Crawford, and I don't know Crawford. How is Crawford now? It's my age, 39, and the last performance don't look good. So I pick Canelo in the.
Yeah, any advice you can give to Crawford? Any insight at all? I know it's been years since you gotten better, bigger, and
run.
Adding his trademark flair, Jake Paul jumped into the conversation, claiming he would have been a more entertaining opponent for Canelo than both William Skull and Crawford. While recognizing the skills of both Canelo and Crawford, Paul criticized their recent performances as lackluster and predicted their clash would be more of a 12-round dance than an explosive showdown.
He would have done better than Skull, though.
1,000%, without a doubt. I would have beat Canelo, and this is what I've been saying. He's over the hill. Obviously, Crawford's a great fighter, Canelo's a great fighter, but I just think that this has more hype around it, and, you know, we just saw them come off of some boring fights, and they're probably just going to sit there and dance for 12 rounds.
Elsewhere in the division, David Benavidez spoke on reaching his limit when it came to Canelo Alvarez. The undefeated super middleweight made it clear he's done chasing a fight that, in his eyes, will never happen. Benavidez stated bluntly that Canelo has no intention of giving him a shot. Former UFC champion Henry Cejudo echoed that sentiment, agreeing that Benavidez would not get the opportunity unless someone else opens the door. That someone, in their view, could be Dimitri Bivol.
You think you go up to 175 pounds, you become champion. Do you think you entice Canelo, or do you still think Canelo will not fight you? Because I personally feel like you beat Bivol. There's a storylines there.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
everybody else, all the people talk like, oh, he beat the guy that beat Canelo. So that's what I was trying. That was my play. But honestly, I don't know about Canelo. I'm tired of talking about Canelo. I don't think he's ever going to give me an opportunity. He's never going to give me the fight.
I don't think so either. Unless Bivol gives you an opportunity to scrap him, beats him, and then you become the
and
great
then there's
Mexican.
just inevitable. It's
so
inevitable.
let me.
It's not about the
Yeah, but okay,
100 million, dude. You think you kidding me?
The first step when you're a fucking warrior, bro, the only thing you think about is glory. I've never thought about money. I've been smart. I'm negotiating my shit. But it's always a prize, bro. It's always, if I go out there and beat Canelo, bro, I'm a legend. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna live forever in boxing as a legend. That means way more to me than any type of money.
And I think that separates you too, David. And I admire that shit about you. I was like that at one point.
Adding further intrigue to this narrative, Dimitri Bivol, being one of only 2 men to have defeated Canelo, also weighed in on the matchup. Bivol called it an interesting fight and expressed belief that Crawford could pull off the upset provided he sticks to his strengths. He highlighted movement, distance control, and switching stances as the tools that could give Bud the edge. Coming from someone who has already solved the Canelo puzzle, Bivol's assessment adds weight to the argument that Crawford might just have the blueprint for victory.
I don't know, but I think it's an interesting fight against Crawford, of course. The best fighters in their weight classes, different styles. Good fight.
Who do you think has more power out of the two?
Canelo, of course. He got used to this weight class more than Crawford. He needs to get used to this power, even he's big.
So how does Canelo beat Crawford? Do you think that's a stoppage?
He could beat him, he could stop him. It could happen anyhow, you know, from both of the sides. And Canelo, of course, will try to find some hard punch. Just need to do his job, what he's doing well. You know, he's changing his stance, he's moving a lot, you know, he's keeping distance. Like this he could win, of course, not with changing punches with him.
In addition, Steven Breadman Edwards has made his pick clear for the upcoming super fight, stating he's always liked Terrence Crawford in a matchup. The respected trainer believes Crawford will come out on top, adding another vote of confidence to Bud's corner. Edwards praised Crawford's ring IQ and adaptability, arguing that these attributes could be the key to neutralizing Canelo's power and pressure throughout the fight.
I always like Crawford. I always like Crawford in the fight. I think Crawford's gonna win.
He's gonna pull it off.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna be like just, well, what's gonna be?
I just think he's just gonna be too much.
A lot of people are changing their opinion.
I always said it. I always said I like Crawford from the very beginning of the fight.
You think he can hurt him?
Yep. Anybody could be hurt in the fight. Canelo got a great chin though, but anybody could be hurt on any given night. Don't ever think a guy can't be hurt, man. Ever think some of the best chins I've ever seen have been clipped. Holyfield, Duran, you know, anybody can be clipped, man. Anybody could get hurt, anybody could go down. It can happen to anybody. Don't ever believe that. He's one of them guys that never look rusty, so I don't really, it applies to a lot of fighters, but he defies the logic behind that because he don't look rusty with his layoffs.
What makes him so special?
Oh man, I don't think you got enough time in the interview, man, but he seems to have like a very fast process in mind. He can seem to adjust to anything. He's like a savant in a boxing ring. He probably can't even explain how he adjusts to everything, but he can just adjust to anything in the fight. He's a great fighter.
Did you feel like he's gotten the advantages early over Canelo?
Sure. Better stamina, better conditioning, better feet. I think obviously Canelo's the harder puncher. I disagree with that. I think Crawford's gonna be the stronger fighter in the later rounds. I think the early part of the fight is where he gotta be careful at. I think the early part of the fight, he could get clipped if he's not careful. But I think the later rounds, I think he functions better in the later rounds than Canelo does.
As the boxing world braces for Canelo versus Crawford, the drama outside the ring has become just as explosive as the showdown itself. With loyalty shifting, controversies swirling, and legacies on the line, one thing is certain, this isn't just a fight, it's a reckoning. Stay tuned. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Teofimo said the N-word or liquor? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're the first to know when the latest updates drop.